But first, this is the ceremony part. I have a fire going and I have friends who are gonna wind whistle with us. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna call to the directions. I'm gonna call to all of the winds to come in here. And I'm gonna put down my paper, put down the wind. And what I'd like you to do, if you're a wind whistler and you have your wind whistle, whistle along with me. And we are going to start with the west because we're going to finish with the south wind, and I'm going to tell you what the wind is that I've called in for this collective journey. So the west over here is this way. All right? Are you going to wind whistle with us? All right, we got some more wind whistlers here. All right. Wind whistlers, are you ready? All the wind whistlers at home, to the west. We're calling to the west wind of Zephyrus. And my friends can tell you, I'm not making this up, that as soon as we called to the west wind, the trees started to shake a little bit. That's what happens when you call the winds into your life. They cooperate. Magic is a magical thing that's a relationship between you and whatever element that you're working with. So the west wind is here with us. I'm not going to make a big long song and dance about this. In my book you can read all about the invocations and the incantations and all of those to call in the wind, but today we're just calling them. So we're going to call to the north wind. Wow. Look at the north. The waves are picking up over there. Let's all call to the north wind. Breezes are, now the other trees are twinkling. I love this. Leighton, I bet you're laughing too. Leighton took pictures of me and his eyes went wide open when he was watching. All of a sudden, I'd call the wind and the wind's in the water, and he's like, Renee, do you know that the wind would come every time you call him? I hope so. Otherwise, I better not be publishing a book. We'd be really in trouble here. He's talking, but I can't read it from here. I can hardly see Leighton. Forget that. I'll read it later. We're going to call to the east wind. And the east is the wind we're coming out of now and moving towards the south wind. So call to the east wind, everyone. And now we're going to call to the wind that's going to help us on this journal writing challenge. We're going to call to the south wind. And let me just tell you a little bit about the south wind. The south wind has everything to do with your emotions. It has to do with deep seeding, deep cleaning your emotional body. The west is about endings and harvest. The north is about going into hibernation in your spirit. The east is the new beginnings. So whatever you started in the east is requiring you now to weed and thin so that whatever that is you planted that you're going to harvest in the fall can grow corn. And the Carol elder that I used to work with used to say, if it doesn't grow corn, there's no point of doing it. So we want to grow corn. So when you call upon the wind has a natural ability to take seeds and shift them about, move things around. Look at the wind got themselves a hay house contract. Think about how powerful they are. I mean, really, I didn't do that. The wind did it. And so we're calling to the south. And I have to tell you a really funny story. Heather, are you here? If you're here, give a heart or a like. So this morning, I needed a little bit of knowing what this collective wind for this 30-day journal was. So I went into the wind satchel, wind sack, because wind's carried in a sack, and I pulled out a wind for this particular 30-day challenge. And I pulled out Dogoda, the Polish wind of compassion. And this is about finding freedom and forgiveness. So my bet, and you guys can come over to the Wind Clan and tell me if I'm wrong, But what a lot of people are going to find out when they're doing this 30-day journaling challenge is that there's some deep forgiveness that they need to do in their heart. And you know, that is so true, because I told you about the line drawn down the room. Well, my sister and I, we have forgiven each other, but lately there's some things come up that her situation in life is not as equal to mine, and she's made it that way. But I have to find compassion for her, because we don't know how long people are going to be on this earth, and I want to love her with all of my heart and all of my being. I'm going to read you what I've written in the book Winds of Spirit, which will be out in February. You'll be able to pre-order it soon, and trust me, I need you all to pre-order it soon if we're going to sell 30,000 and we're going to be New York Times best-selling book. All right, the South. The arrival of Dogoda in the South signifies that this is a time for a moral victory over your emotions. Dispel whatever is ugly. Lighten up. Laugh, 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 laugh. And enjoy yourself, like we're going to eat spaghetti and meatballs after this. Repressed emotions may be triggered by unexpected loss, recognition, achievement, or illness. With Dogoda's assistance, you need not suffer needlessly. You can experience compassion for yourself and others while moving through a satisfactory resolution. Do not become a martyr to your pain. You do not have to fight to stand your ground. Dogoda can help you loosen your grip on current survival strategies that no longer work. Dogoda may cast a spell of heartbreak to expedite the healing of old wounds and enable you to soar like an eagle. I just got chills, because right before I turned this Facebook Live on, they can tell you an eagle came right over here, and it wasn't flying fast. It just hovered right above our fire for a minute or so. And so that's the second eagle that I've seen today. So I want you to do this journal challenge for you, and so that we can all soar like eagles. So we're going to call in this last south wind, and then if you haven't signed up for the challenge, I'm sure anywhere on this page you can find a link. Please sign up and join us. And the first person you're going to find forgiveness for is yourself for not doing this challenge perfectly. Because we're human and we stumble. So if you get to day 4 and you need some extra wind, you come over on the Wind Clan page and tell, hey Renee, I need some more wind. All right, so we're going to call to that south wind of Dogoda, the wind of compassion, finding forgiveness through this journaling process. May the winds be at your back through this process and through the rest of this year as you harvest all the things that you planted, that they all grow corn. And I'm Renee Baribeau, still known as the Practical Shaman, and this is the wind work. And if you join us over at the Wind Clan, there's a group of supporters, of people who are really with us, who really experience life, living life on nature's terms. Wow. And thank my friends here. Can I show you? All right, come on, smile. Oh, I got to turn the whole thing. We've got our friends. Everyone wave. We've got our wind whistlers. We've got our fire, our sacred fire for the solstice. And I'm so grateful for all of you, all the 80-some people taking this challenge with me, because I'm going to be right there with you, making sure that I don't open Facebook before I open the pages of my journal. So have a great evening, and thank you very much for joining us.